right. Where the Soul Goes. It's been out for a little bit, right?
Like 3 months and a
Yeah,
week, maybe.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Uh,
Thank you.
very, very melancholy, very dreamlike,
Hmm.
very ethereal. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to source my synonyms here, but that's like my broad feeling about it. And I absolutely suggest anyone listening go pick it up. Uh, you will get much more out of this conversation if you go read it and buy it. Um, questions for you. The first question is partially a selfish question because
Okay.
I've been asking this of a lot of people recently, probably because of it's top of my mind. Even though I'm sure it's relevant to many people who are listening. So the book floats between perspectives. Like
Hmm.
Elliot is the protagonist. He's the
Hmm.
main character, but we also get Left.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you about Left later, but we also have like these, I forget how they're actually. I know they are labeled in the book, because there's that's the other thing. There's the chapters which are song titles, which are Elliot
Oh,
chapters, and then you have like reports
yeah. Hmm.
from Left, and then you have, what are they called? What's the? It's not
Observations.
observations. There we
Yeah.
go. Thank you. Which I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Uh, but I mean,
Love it.
no, I like it. I like it. Um, there is a jump between perspectives. Elliot's is I don't know, very his are very clear. Those reports are, you're like,
Mhm.
who's talking, who is this? Left, when you get there, I'm like, oh, I guess we're getting reports from this asshole all of a sudden.
Mhm. Mhm.
um but then even in Elliot chapters, we jump backwards and forwards in time into memory.
Mhm.
Is so, and you often like, and I've been like, I have personally been, and I've been asking other authors about this, about how do you manage what are effectively flashbacks. That's
Mhm.
effectively what they are. But how you manage them and how you introduce them to the reader drastically changes the story. And you mostly settle on like just headings, like, hey, it's 1985. Hey, it's 1950, whatever, whatever year it is. Here's when the memory takes place. Did you settle on that just because, oh, it's easy, it's clear, it's simple, it tells us where we are, and then I can then jump and just be free to write the memory the way I want to?
I Yeah, so I mean we've touched upon the fact that like there's a lot of random shit going on in this book. Like it's it is all over the place. So to introduce a time jump in the middle of all of that fuckery is even more confusing. And I did feel like, okay, to make this easy on people, I am going to throw a year on this because I don't want to chase away. I don't want to make it harder for people to get engaged with the book. Like I've already made it difficult enough. Um, so for clarity's sake, let's stick a year on that. And then otherwise, you know, how humans have flashbacks in real life, like there's no rhyme or reason to it. We're not suddenly titling flashbacks in our head. There might be a brief thought about like oh, I was such and such years old when this happened. But other than that, um, they just happen super randomly. And they can be about anything. So I like to have my flashbacks feel spur of the moment. But I also, in stories, I like there to be a timeline that makes sense in order to like go along with the story in present day. So revealing certain things here and there. Um, it there has to be some form of uh,
Order.
order. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a great word. There has to be some form of order to it.
Rules. Something governing the chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm I've done different things in different stories, and the thing I'm working on now. I'm really struggling with that. I mean, the how to segue.
Mm,
This is happening now. This is not happening now. And how confusing do you want it to be?
yeah.
How it's supposed to be about, like, especially in your book. This book feels like they're navigating a dreamscape at times because of this otherworldly quality of what has happened to Earth.
Mhm.
uh and this is a unrelated question, but have you ever, I don't know if you play video games at all.
Yes.
Have you played Kentucky Route Zero?
No, I haven't even heard of it.
Your book, especially as they begin their travels, across the country, reminded me so much of Kentucky Route Zero.
Oh, now
Um,
I'm intrigued.
I mean, Kentucky Route Zero, and Kentucky Route Zero is also like, you speak about confusing. That game is a confusing game. You're like, what the fuck is happening? The entire game. But it's like an adventure game. You're just kind of wandering around like you're on Earth. You're traveling with your dog, but other than that, utterly confusing, but very interesting and you're like compelling. You're like, what's going on? But especially like when they're just like traveling through Middle America, the vast,
Mhm.
and it's like, and I'll touch back on the lore of what the hell has happened to Earth in a minute. But left. I mentioned left.
Yeah.
Left and right. Um is like wholly unique character. One, because he's named Left, and we never get his his government name. We never get his we get his role, as Left Agent. Um and he is a asshole for a large part of the story. We do see, change in him as the story goes along. Um, was his perspective always a part of this as you're crafting the story? Where you're like, no, we need to see Left as well, or was that added later? Where does he fit?
Originally he was not part of the like I didn't feel well, when I conceived the story, there
Right.
was no Left.
Okay.
That scene in the apartment where Left and Right show up is kind of where I fell in love with that character.
Okay.
And and I don't really remember what the thought process was, but I did know that I wanted this character to stick around for longer, and I didn't want to give him a name. And I was also very much hung up on the idea that like there is a left and a right, and the left character is going to subvert expectations of a left-leaning individual.
Okay.
Um, I I wanted to have a character that could see change over the course of the story, and even though he is kind of He's very much a big asshole. Um,
He's an agent. He's a federal agent. Yeah, they're
he
not.
is.
Yeah.
He's very much modeled after a person, like there are many. I'm getting political now, which
Say
is,
whatever. Say whatever you want.
maybe those people that made some choices within the latest election
Ah,
who are very much stuck in their ways. They like how things are. They don't like radicalism in the way that is acceptance of new individuals for a number of reasons. And change is hard. And I wanted to show that change is possible. And it is set more through the tone of like grief has kind of made this person very hard hearted um, and unaccepting and just a total dick. And you know, people
is
can change.
right. The never can. Is it? Was it just like I? You say I didn't never. We never learned his. I don't. This is not. I don't think this is consider. I wouldn't consider this a spoiler. We don't learn his real name.
Mm,
He's left. He
yeah,
and he identifies as left. He even like we get his perspective, and he's like, "I'm left," and you're like, "That's not your name," but he just goes, "I'm left," and you're like,
yeah.
I guess I'm accepting that." Is that is that just like a representation of he is of like he is a job, he is a role, he's not a human
Sure.
anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the other thing is that when I brought not just Left, but also the psychologist who was a planned character into this, they are meant to represent the more like, she is meant to represent the more clinical, maybe, God, what's the word I'm looking for? For a writer, I'm doing a great job of bringing up.
Hey, writers, we get to sit and just stare at paper and in the quiet by ourselves. We're not You're
It's,
not put on the spot. This is a talk show. I'm asking you
that's
questions
fair.
to off the cuff.
But she is meant to give that more clinical, almost. Somebody did describe the observations as like alien esque, like they just don't feel like they're written from a real person's point of view,
Yeah.
um, and they're not meant to be. They're meant to be looking at these sort of these things that were people as if they are not people.
Right.
Um, and then Left is also meant to just show the this is a job and I'm after a guy who's bad, and that's it. That's as far as my
We have labeled him bad, so
yeah,
therefore he is bad.
that's as far as my thoughts have gone. Like I'm
Right.
not taking in any of the information about the person that I've like the suspect that I've figured out. Um, you know, just because he seems like a good person doesn't mean he is. Uh, this is just
Well, the job has made him again the being being in that role has made him utterly suspicious of all people
yep,
and doesn't can't trust anyone. Those and those it the, That's like the psychologist's perspective really made me feel like it's those. I don't know, it gave me this idea of this like perspective where like, oh yeah, if you ask me, like sometimes she will pipe in and say like, oh no, this doesn't make any sense, no, we should not be chasing this guy. But then she kind of segues back into like, oh no, my psychologist opinion of this thing, and like completely removing her own her own bias. Like it's like this,
yep,
which does make her feel like an alien at times, where
yeah,
she's like, I or a machine, where it's like, oh, we just remove bias from it, and you're like, well, that's not how humans work.
yeah,
We all have bias in us.
yeah. and the other thing with her is that she is an observer for the majority of the book, not just in her observation chapters, but she sits in the back seat of this car for the entire ride, and we don't get a lot of her, um, breaking into conversations or um, being as much a part of the plot. But that's because she's just kind of there to watch. So that in itself is sort of creepy. Uh,
I mean, she's I really liked her. I wish. I mean, it doesn't make sense for this book, but I was like, I want to know about her and Wright. Like, what is that relationship like?
yeah.
Uh,
I
that
mean,
that it, it's too late. You can't put that in this book. But
no.
I was very curious. I'm like, oh, what the hell was their life like? How do
I
they?
have thought about doing a follow-up series that is just Left and the Psychologist.
Oh,
I
that'd
don't,
be
not
right.
saying that that's going to happen, but it definitely has crossed my mind.
The thought. Yeah, I'm always afraid to say things out loud. I'm like, oh yeah, I might write a sequel to that one day. And
Yeah.
then next time someone sees me, they're like, "Where's the sequel?" I'm like, "I man,
Yeah.
I wrote, I got
Like
16 books.
that.
I got so many books I want to write. I can't like just
Yeah.
the sequel's not going to take a precedent right now. I'm sorry. Um, okay. Period is this book's a period piece, effectively.
Yep.
Even though it makes me feel real old to say like, oh, the late 80s, into the early 90s is a
I
period
know.
piece,
It's
but it
crazy.
is. Um, why that period of time? It there's like it never struck me as a strict necessity that this book be set at that specific time. Other than obviously there's lack of cell phones, which
Mm.
makes a writer's job generally easier because they don't you can keep people out of connection to each other. Um, was there something specific about like 1989 to 1990 to 1991, wherever? And you're also like the book is also a little cagey about you eventually kind of narrow it down, but at first I'm like, when are we? Is it just to like make me confused about when the stuff's happening?
So it is. First of all, it's an alternate history,
Right.
and what I wanted to do before anything else was I wanted to write an '80s book.
Okay.
Um, so that was the reason that it was set then. And then the reason that I went as far as 1989 was due to a lot of the research I was doing about the culinary industry in the 80s. There just presented more opportunities to include more history if I set it later in the 80s versus earlier in the 80s. Um, so that was sort of during the time, it was the 70s and 80s when like you were starting to get the TV chef thing,
Right.
the popularity of that, and chefs were starting to look like TV personas and stars. Um, there was a long period of time where people wanting to, aspiring to be cooks was not necessarily looked at as being like, oh, that's a great career.
Right.
Um, so I wanted it to sort of be on the cusp of that being uh, a new thing, and then also the idea that food fusion and the inclusion of more BIPOC individuals in the food industry and sort of letting their voices and their art with food be seen is also something that uh, in reality took much longer
Yeah.
for the culinary scene to see, but it was certainly up and coming. Um, so I wanted to make sure that that was a highlight too. And then, of course, there's the AIDS crisis, which is a huge part of the book and its theme. And that
Right.
was primarily during the 80s.
Right.
So,
Okay. That's I mean, I always I don't know. Sometimes I mean, I personally have also just been like, well, I wanted to write a book then for that time period. There's no it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. I like writing a book at that time period. Um and I do man, writing period stuff I'm which I haven't done a lot of and now I'm doing it more and I'm like, it's really nice not to have to worry about cell phones.
Mm.
I don't
I do have a car phone, which is
yeah,
one
but
of the, silly inventions that I just was like, yes,
I
give him
love
a car phone.
car phones are fun. Car
Yeah.
phones, but also car phones are like it's like this flawed technology
Oh
that
yeah.
doesn't really work well, but does work a little, and you're like, oh,
Yeah. It sounds
that's great.
fancy.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of Ash, the Ash, Ashen, this mysterious disease. Um, so it's incredible. I love it. I love the imagery. It's very affecting, very harrowing. Immediately, I don't know, sets set me on edge whenever you're around them, the Ash, because you don't know, like, they literally can explode. You're like, oh no,
Yep.
that's real bad. Um, but you don't. The book doesn't really spend a lot of time digging into, well, how does it get caught? How do you get sick? We don't know. It doesn't it doesn't really go into detail. It doesn't go into detail about like, oh well, treatment. There isn't treatment. The treatment is we watch them rot and then we let them loose because we don't know what to do with them. Um, and I like that. I feel like that's the right kind of world building, the right kind of like building a mythos around some fictional disease. Is that like you've already mentioned the AIDS crisis, and it feels like there's like clear allegories. Like it's explicitly mentioned, I think at least once, but there's clear allegory for it.
Mm.
Um, is it to reflect partially the AIDS crisis and about like how HIV and AIDS was either ignored or misunderstood, slash is it just to keep focus on characters and I don't want chapter upon chapter of like, oh, here's how disease works, and you're like, well, that's is that exciting? No, let's see how it affects people. Is it one or the other? Is it both?
So I think the reason I didn't go into, the sci-fi
Right.
idea with it is because I wanted this to read as more of a surreal uh, sort of spec fic, um, even fantasy in some cases, like piece, and getting in on all of the particulars of diseases is time consuming
Yes.
and not an area that I am uh, great at. So yes, it it is meant to be an allegory to AIDS. It is also meant to be an allegory towards loss of creativity and inspiration. Because there are lines in the book where the characters talk about uh, the fact that this radicalist like group that's using the ash to sort of bomb cities
Yeah.
is they're taking out places that focus on creativity,
Right.
um, and it's really, I mean, it's you can't not talk about AI in when you're thinking about like how people are sort of just giving in to convenience and like they're not gonna go through the work and try to figure out how to do things themselves. They're not going to try to feel inspired. They're just gonna give it to a machine to do things. I mean, the idea is that this whole group of people has lost what it means to sort of be human, and one by one they are now turning into particles of ash.
Right.
Um, they're losing their humanity. They're losing what makes them who they are as individuals. And so it's a story about that, and it's also definitely inspired by zombies because I have consumed a lot of zombie fiction, and I've always wanted to write a zombie novel that's not really a zombie novel. So that's
Right.
what this was.
Yeah. I mean, they do behave like zombies at times.
They do.
Was the AI stuff on? Was that it? Like, oh, as you're writing it, were you like, was that textual? Was you like literally putting that in there, or was that just kind of after the fact, as we've as society has confronted
Um,
and dealing with all this crap?
I mean, I think it was definitely always there in the
Okay.
background. Like at first, it was mostly just meant to be about how I've struggled with my creativity and my inspiration in the past, just trying to feel like what I was writing was different enough, maybe, or if it was too different and people just weren't understanding it. Um, to reach a point that like now I'm just, it is very out there. It's different. And I'm just going to write it because I'm going to write it and it's what I write.
Right.
But also the, the struggle to produce and to feel creative when you're besought by everything going on in the world is really another big part of it too.
It's challenging.
It is.
Uh, I could, I, I could talk to you for another hour about many different decisions in the book. But we're running out of time for this segment. So before we move on, I'm going to tell people go by Where the Soul Goes. And we're going to move on to our second segment, the second act, where I am going to ask you a bunch of broader bookish / writing questions. Uh, First question is from our last guest, who is Royal Poff. His question was about mediums. If you couldn't write, if you had to choose a different medium to work in aside from prose, what would you choose?
Um, I had been thinking about this and I was trying to nail down something in particular. Um, and it's going to be kind of weird, but I feel like it's like design, like room design slash yeah, like aesthetic room decoration and design. There is just something about it to me, about making a space feel like you,
Yeah,
that is really, really important. So you can still tell a story with things
it's
and
true.
colors and light. Um, so yeah, if I
That's,
could, that's probably what I would
I
do.
mean, you can if you want.
Eh, yeah, at this point in my life, it might be a little difficult to change paths, but you never know.
I mean, dabble.
Yeah, yeah,
Could be. You're allowed to have hobbies.
that's fair. No, that's fair. Um, I was actually that just made me think of good friends. They posted on Instagram yesterday about how they had basically all of their hobbies had stopped because of the writing hustle, and I was thinking about it after that. I'm like, yeah, no, that's what happens, and it sucks. It's
Yeah.
just Like all of these other things that you want to do, they get put to the wayside.
They're both of them are collecting dust in my office right now because I'm busy trying to, make a name for myself.
Yeah, it
Uh
sucks.
yeah, it's not great. It's I stole time last night. I played a video game for
Nice.
2 hours.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I went, okay. Then I mean I do does doing a crossword every day count as a hobby?
Sure.
Then I do that. That counts. I do a crossword. Um so I'm gonna ask you for a question for our
Mhm.
next guest at the end of this segment. So
Okay.
my next question, the question I ask everybody, who's a writer more people should be reading? Feel free to give me multiple names if you'd like.
Um, yeah, I mean, I have a few. I think that more people should be reading Grace Reynolds, who was previously a guest on your show.
Grace is great.
Her poetry is phenomenal. I have all of her books to date. I think. So definitely Grace. I think that people should be checking out Amanda Headley's stuff more. She is also an ace writer like myself. She put out a really awesome novella this year. Um, and and I think that people should also check out Tom Reimer. He is a fellow New England author, and he writes some really fun paranormal stuff. Um, so yeah.
It's good answers. I also use this as a way to source future guests.
Oh,
People, I
nice.
go, oh, okay, let me write this down. Let me steal this. Let me steal that. Steal. Who's this person? Who should I be interviewing? Um, hmm, let's see. I'm gonna give you a new question.
Cool.
Yeah. When do you know something is done?
The problem is that nothing is ever done for me. That's very easy. I could sit and just
Tinker.
fuck it something for so long, and it's never going to be done. It's never going to be perfect, but I have to like step away from it. Or else I start getting neurotic. And um so I guess it's more just the idea that like I want to get onto something new. And so when I want to get onto something new, I know that I need to like put it down and uh
Let it be.
let it be, finish it up, uh and move on to the next thing.
Put it out in the world and let
Yep.
the flaws be the flaws be
Yes.
what they are. Because that's sometimes I'm the same way. I can similarly just like my answer would be whenever I hate it. I'm like, all right, let's get. I can't do this anymore. Literally
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
I hate this so much. What was the last book you read that evoked a visceral physical reaction?
Um I am actually reading I'm reading one right now that I am just like it's giving me shivers down my spine, and it's partially because it takes place in the bitter cold on a mountain, but also it's just like the suspense is so good. It's Ascension by Nicholas Binge, and it's phenomenal so far.
Okay.
I'm listening to the audiobook.
Ooh.
Uh
I've been looking for a new audiobook, so
it's good.
maybe
It's
I'll read
really
that
good.
one. I've been like just something that I can listen to and not look at.
Yeah.
I'll lose my mind. I've been reading so many books lately, and I feel like I'm getting worse at it. I don't know why. I am. Maybe it's just my attention span is so bad now because of uh, the world we live in.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. What is a practice that helps keep your writing momentum going?
I listen to music when I'm writing, and generally, I have a playlist of stuff that's just helps set the mood. Usually, it's ambient, often video game soundtrack type stuff that I'll just throw on, and then once I've got that mood set, then I can just really go.
It's strictly to drive mood and
It
tone and all
is,
that?
yeah, mood and
Okay.
tone. My one that I revisit over and over and over and over is the Limbo soundtrack, by Martin Stieg Anderson, because it just fits so many different worlds, and it's minimalist, and it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Don't get me started on Inside.
Not a fan of Inside?
Um, I have strong feelings about Inside.
Got it.
Yeah.
I
I don't like, I
yeah.
I don't like what that game it feels like this is just me. This is Robbie complaining. I don't like it when things try and play tricks on me.
Okay.
And I feel like that game plays a trick on me
Yeah.
and on its audience. Like and no and like it's very intentional and don't lie to me, video game. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't like video. I don't like when things lie to make me to trick me. Uh Not that I don't like twists and turns, but like it's a very well made game.
Mhm.
I think it does exactly what it means to do. But I was very excited for it because I played Limbo and I was
Mhm.
looking forward to Inside. And then I played Inside and I went,
Yeah.
you played a trick on me. And I don't like this. I don't appreciate your
Mhm.
ruse.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna call it a bad game because that's not fair. But I am gonna say that game played a trick on me.
Sure.
And I don't appreciate it.
No, I get it. I get it. They have like I I actually never played Inside, but I did watch a walkthrough
Right.
for it. And
For a game like that, it's basically the same thing. It's not too different of an
yeah.
experience. It's a very straightforward linear game, so it's short. You know, it's not a very long game. I love the. I mean, like, I love everything. I love it. Look again. It seems like a game made for me. It
Yeah.
feels like that's what I think. That's partially why I have this strong like.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I
Now I'm just like I got this out. That's not good. Don't do that,
I don't
Robbie.
have strong feelings about that game. So
Okay.
that's
I tend to have strong feelings about everything.
that's
Uh,
that's okay.
I'm sometimes I think it is okay, and then other times people are like, Robbie, stop yelling about pro wrestling, and I go, okay, you're right. I should, or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I shouldn't yell about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's an absurd thing to do. Um, uh, what's the best piece of advice you followed?
I the one that I try to continue to follow is Rob Atone once said to just put down your head and just keep writing. And I think it's in reference to a lot of the social media, like getting infatuated with social media, and letting it kind of fester in your head. And the thing is to just not let it do that and get the work done. Put your head down, put your nose to the grindstone, write the work that you're going to write, um, because that's the important thing.
Right,
So that one lives rent free in my
he,
head.
Mr.
Um,
Mr. Atone was the first guest on this podcast.
oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah,
he's a
Rob's a good guy.
he's a smart fellow. That guy.
And then also recently, Mr. Kiesling is my good friend. Mr.
Also
Todd Kiesling.
also been a guest on the show.
Um, has been giving me some very good advice while I'm in the query trenches. um,
Ah,
and that's also basically to just like not obsess over watching things.
oh, the rejection emails inevitably that
Oh yeah, and that
come in,
just
and
sitting there and seeing the time uh, go
I,
and
I got rejection yesterday. Well, I mean,
I
it's fine. I get
mean they
that.
suck, but
I'm they're bad, but it's like I that's part. I've put it in myself to be to get as many as possible, so that I it's just part of the process.
yep.
But it's more about when it's the query tracker thing has the history of
Yep.
everything you've sent, and I get the auto response back from July of this year, and it says we'll be back. You'll be hear back from us in 4 to 6 weeks, and I got it's December, and I got
Mhm.
it's been 5 months, and I got the response back, and I'm like, there's oh we're sorry we're so late. I'm like, I assumed it was a no. You didn't really have to send anything at this point, but okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't I don't say anything. It's just a form response, but
sure.
it's more the you said four
I
to
know.
six weeks man. You can't. Okay, sorry, I don't know your life. You're probably very busy. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather have some kind of a response than none at all, but I also understand that the volumes of submissions that they're getting must be astronomical.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it
Um,
is. I mean, they've said I've seen reports of agents, or I know agents who are like, oh yeah, I opened up a week and I got over 1,000 in a
yeah,
week. And you're like, oh, okay.
yeah, it's
Yeah, that's a
crazy.
lot. And I know some of that is just like a lot of that is ones they can immediately dismiss because they're just people like blasting every agent with something
Yeah,
that an agent doesn't want or that
that's
they're not asking for.
that's the
Um,
thing that kills me is the like, do your research.
yeah. I mean, I do. I send queries to people who are looking for the thing I think I
Yeah,
wrote. I'm not going to
yep.
waste my time or theirs. Yeah, I'm with you.
Mm.
Also in the query trenches. It's miserable. It's miserable. It's worst, most frustrating experience in the world. Um, okay. How much time we got? One more question. Um, describe your writing in one word.
Hmm.
You can use a dash. It could be a dash word. It could be a compound word if you like.
Feel like if I used a compound word, it would not be a real word.
Oh,
Like,
I will.
um,
You don't have to. Don't take this question too seriously.
like I want to say, hmm, I mean, they're all sad, but I think beyond sad, um,
They're all sad.
everything that I write has a tone of hope to it. So I think I would use hopeful, but I also don't want people to like get that and be like, "Ooh, this is going to be the most hopeful thing that I read," and then dive into like where the soul goes
Yeah,
and be like, "Whoa,
yeah, it is it is very sad. I think I hear your cat purring, and it's very cute.
yeah,
Uh,
he's so good."
it's very cute. Um, if anyone listening just to the audio version of this hears that noise,
Yes,
it's the kitty
it's
cat.
not me.
It's lemon jello, lemon jelly, lemon
Lemon
jello,
jelly.
lemon
Yes,
jelly, not lemon
yep.
jello. See,
Evidence. The cat is here.
oh my gosh,
He is mad.
always mad.
Usually.
Oh no. Um, I think things can be. I mean, it is your writing, right? You get to describe what you think it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be reflect, a perfect truth. I feel like that's the limitations of the question is to kind of
Yeah.
narrow things down. But it is, I don't know. I think when you say, "Oh, I don't want to give people the wrong impression," I don't. my frame of reference is so far removed from, I think, a normal person that I have no idea how to describe books sometimes to people. Where I'm like, yeah, this book was incredible, and they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, there's like cannibalism and murder and death, and like they're like, I'm like, yeah, really affecting, and they're like, that sounds awful, and I'm like, no, oh, yeah, not everyone's me. They don't want to, or the sad, like this book is like, it is, I think, does hit that very optimistic, hopeful tone, but it is
Sad.
also,
Yeah.
yeah,
A
you
lot
have
of
to get
drama.
through you wait. I mean, it's about you know, your books, it's mired in grief and sadness and lack of creativity, and you have to, it feels like it's earned. I don't know. I feel like a lot of books sell hope, but there's no real hardship. There's no sandpaper in the book. I don't know. That's
Mm,
the hardest thing for me now reading books is where there's books with no sandpaper. No,
yeah.
like it's not hard enough on like it's, oh yeah, it's this book, and like a lot of like book club books
Mm,
that I see people, or people read and want me to read with them, or yeah, you should read this. I'm like, well, it's just kind of sweet, and it's not bad, but it's like I want sandpaper. I want conflict. I want hardship to get to the end where there's a glimmer, something sweet or nice at the end where it's like, oh well, that felt earned.
yeah.
Not, I don't know. That's why I can't get into Bob's Burgers too much.
Oh, see, I love Bob's. I
I
love Bob's Burgers.
It's good. It's good. Not I again, it's a good show,
Yeah.
but there's not much real sandpaper in that show. It's meant
No.
to be comforting. It's a very comforting show.
Yeah.
But that's by design. It's not
Yes.
not
Yeah.
not nothing
It's
against the show.
like there's definitely the kind of book, the kind of movie, the kind of TV show that is uh predictable, and there is something comforting in its predictability. But it's really not meant to be. Um, it's not meant to sort of make you question things. It's not
Yeah.
meant to make you want to ask questions. And there is entirely that kind of book. And that's just not the kind of book that I write.
No. That's
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. What's your question for our next guest?
I think I'm gonna go with my token question, which is, do they listen to any kind of music when they write? And if they do they consider its cadence, its overall tempo, its mood, uh, to insert into the scene that they're writing? Kind of a long question.
That's
Sorry.
perfectly fine. I prefer that versus, it's a good question. I might steal it for future episodes
Sure.
after that. I do
Yeah.
that. Half my questions I've stolen from. See, this is
I
the trick. Good artists steal.
I totally stole that question from a
Yeah.
horror writers chat from Blue Sky.
See, there you go. It's
Yeah.
perfect. That's perfectly fine. I don't. People should steal more. If they see something good, steal it. Don't
I
don't.
mean, within
Originality is
reason.
original.
Within
Well, yeah.
reason.
I'm tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Um. That's it for the second act. We move on to our final segment. It's time for blood. Yeah, I know.
All right.
I know. It's time for trouble. It's time for. It's not really.
Yeah.
Hey, it's blood on the typewriter. It's the name of the podcast. It's time for struggle, trouble. Could be minor things. Could be big
Mm.
things. Could be nuts and bolts. Could be mechanical, philosophical, ethos, whatever it could be. What do you got? Anything that springs to mind?
Well, I mean, I've already kind of touched on it with the query stuff. That's
Clear
that's
stuff.
currently where my struggle is, that even as much as I am trying to listen to the wise Todd Kiesling's words and keep myself sort of away from Query Tracker,
Yeah.
I have been finding it really hard to like work on the next thing while while I'm trying to query this book. And I think it's just because I'm like, I've been so invested in trying to find a home for it that if I have to, that if I feel like if I have to self publish it, I've kind of lost something. And that shouldn't be uh, my thought, because self publishing has always been my thing. I've self published 18 books. Um, like I know what to do, how to do it, market it, make make the cover, do the internal layout, marketing. I think what I'm struggling with is the idea that like I'm ready for the next step in my career, and I would like that book to be
Right.
the next step. And so if it's not, then I'll feel kind of like I've uh
Stagnated,
yeah, maybe.
lost.
Yeah.
Are you me?
So
Because that's where I'm at. I am the same problem right now. It's the but I've been battling it all year.
yeah, it's rough. And it's like I've been doing this for 15 years. I feel like I've made enough of a um I feel like I've got enough of a backlog, and I've been in the industry for long enough, and I've networked, and I've done all of the, the things. I've got strong social media presence. Like I
Yeah.
should be able to get
Yeah.
in this. And um I know it takes time. I know I'm going to get a lot of rejections. I know that the right person will come along at the right time and see something in it. Uh, I tell myself that as a, to try and stay positive. But I am also a very negative person.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, are you me? Is this what
Mhm.
is happening? I mean, it's do you what kind of would you are you willing to describe the book? What
It's a, I mean, I have talked about it on
okay.
socials, but it's called Sorrow Eater, and it's
I
a,
love already hey, stop digging. You hit
yeah,
oil.
I mean, it's grief horror again, which
Right.
is kind of my shtick, and takes place in Maine. It has an ace main character, and those are all the things that like I want to pursue. Sort of got a nature horror bend, an eco horror subplot, um and yeah, that's it's definitely the kind of writing and the kind of thing that I just want to keep doing.
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't hurt that I also kind of would like some some sort of change in my everyday life, because I have worked retail for almost 20 years and at the same place, and I'm like, it's great, but I would like something to change.
Right.
I'm looking for change right
Right.
now.
I mean, it's that I feel like I've thought about this a lot lately where it's like this idea of like every book I write could be a ticket, right? It's like it's the like the dream of being a creative person and being an artist is like I make something that's so good and so powerful it can transform my own life, or it can carry me to I don't know, carry you to a dream, but like carry you
Mhm,
towards it at least, where it's like, oh, I can at least change, I can make like, and it's like, it is very romantic. This idea, like, and we all believe we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't believe that that our writing isn't transformative,
mhm,
isn't meaningful, isn't powerful. And what is more meaningful and more powerful than it literally transforming our own lives
mhm,
and like giving us a path to something that's not even like, something quote unquote better, but what we want, right? More
Yeah.
something we want in our own lives. And it's like, well, and I think like sometimes when I get a rejection or when I've worked so hard on a project and it doesn't do that, and you're like, in as you're working on, you feel like it's meaningful, you feel like it's powerful, and then you send it to 50 people, 100 people, and all of them go, eh. And you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, man?
No. Yeah.
And I think I like, I don't know if that's always the case, but it feels like sometimes it is. Like, as I'm working on something, the thing I'm working on right now, it feels meaningful, it feels special, and it feels like, oh, if I query with this, surely someone will recognize it.
Hmm.
And then when they don't, and you're like, and like you, I have also self-published a lot, and I can do all that stuff. And I'm not gonna. I've already done a lot of it, and yes, I'm much farther than I was when I started, but I am not where I want to be. I feel like I should
Hmm.
be further, right? I should, and my writing is good. Your writing is good. I don't know, like this. It's the thing where it's like it's not about how good your writing is
Yeah.
anymore. And you're like, oh, I thought if I was good enough, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Your writing is good. Where the Soul Goes is a beautiful book.
Thank
Uh, I don't know. I'm right there with you. I don't have an answer except keep trying. I think
you. Yeah.
that's the
Right.
hardest
That's,
thing, where
yeah.
it's just like you just like what you're back to what you said earlier. Grind. Like you just got to
Yep.
keep going, and like I don't know, there is, if the project is so meaningful to you and no one picks up, like, well, I refuse to not have it published,
Yeah.
even though it's not the way I want it to be published. I want it to be in every bookstore in America, which is the thing I put in my like Robbie on his soapbox videos occasionally, where I'm like, I want to be in every bookstore in America. That's what I want. But I'm like, well, but I still want this very meaningful project to be published. I want
Yeah.
people to read it, and you have to. I don't know. I think there is a hard thing where you have to navigate that it's not a loss.
Yeah. It's a reconciliation, you know? It's like, what's more important? Is it making sure that the story gets out? Or is it, you know, career now? Like, uh,
I mean, it's very. I've literally been, I don't know, if people have been following me on social media or listening to this podcast, they probably have heard me complain from time to time about it. Like I've been thinking about it all year. Like literally, I've slowed down my own publishing to like give myself time to think, and it's like I don't know. There's so many things outside of your control,
yeah.
right? You can control your own writing. You can control if you're pitching to an agent, querying to an agent, you can control that package, right? You can make
Yeah.
it as best you can. But after that, there's nothing else you can do. You can't navigate, you can't control what an agent thinks about it. And you certainly, if it gets picked up by an agent, you can't control if editors like it, or if once they buy
Yeah.
it, if a publisher is actually going to follow through and push it like you want them to, all those things. So like,
Yeah. It's a lot.
so you have to let it. I don't know. I like when I say like, oh, I got a rejection yesterday. I'm like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I've gotten probably 30 in the past 2 months, and I'll probably get more.
Mhm.
Um, it's okay. That's the get
Yep.
as many as you can. Seek them out. Get as many. Get all the no's. I don't know. There's an author, a local author who we sold books. We did a signing together, and she's like every year, her writing group they would get together and they'd print out all the rejections and then they'd burn them.
Mm, that's cathartic.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds good. That sounds great. Even like just have a big fire and
Yep.
throw them all in there. and
Yeah.
then make s'mores or something. You know, like have
I
a
mean, it's a
sweet treat.
very Yule celebration.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It is, and it's appropriate for the season.
It is.
Um, how long has this been out for querying?
Um, so I started querying with publishers last year.
Okay,
Um, and I started querying to agents in September. So I have not been in it for very long. Um, and I know that I could be in it for a much longer time.
right.
Um, I really did like I tried with small press first because I thought that maybe it might get into a small press. So now I'm focusing on casting a wider net. So we'll see.
Have you queried with agents before?
No.
Okay,
Yeah, this is the first time. I have definitely gotten some lovely advice from friends, putting together a query letter and all that
right.
stuff. So,
It's I've 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 queried two different books this year, and I'm still waiting on stuff from. And I've queried
mhm.
books in the past. Did two books last year too,
Mm.
and just make noise. That's I think no words can actually like effectively communicate the feeling.
Yeah,
I don't think people understand if you haven't ever done it. It's just like
yeah.
only like bestial, barbarous cacophony, like gnashing of teeth, the tearing of hair.
It's a chainsaw. It's basically
Yeah,
the sound
exactly.
of a
It's
chainsaw.
that.
Um, I just had a really good thought.
Ooh,
But
I like
it's going to be
those.
a dated reference. Did you ever play any of the Gears of War games?
I played up through 4, I think, and then I
Um,
went, "I'm okay. I don't
okay.
need more of this. I got it." You know, it's a big beefy men
Yeah,
running at
yeah,
aliens and
yeah.
going, "Yeah," chainsawing through them. Yeah.
Just like those, romantic comedies slash whatever book club pick things,
Yep.
but that. Um, so there's a one of the bad uh aliens that's carrying a weapon called a grinder, and it just announces its presence by this big baritone grind, and I feel like somebody needs to turn that into a meme for writers to like focus on the grinding, uh like get off social media and grind.
Right. That's
uh
good.
so I would love somebody to make that.
I'll work on it.
Yeah,
I'll
that'd be
that'll be my free time recreational behavior the time hobby time tonight. I'll make
nice.
a short grinder gif or whatever. I mean, when you were asking about music earlier, I very rarely listen to music. I listen to a sound
Nice.
when and it is a big ambient dark hole, black hole noise. It's literally called
Nice.
black hole. And it's just wow. It's like the toad from Futurama. Whatever it's called. Um we're out of time. We're over time, really. Um where can before we go, where can people find Where the Soul Goes? Where can they find the rest of your work? Where can they find you online?
So, Where the Soul Goes is from was put out by Trueborn Press. They have copies, paperback and ebook, available on their website, which is just truebornpress.com. Um, and then I can be found in far too many places online. I have, mainly I'm on Instagram and Blue Sky, but I am also on Facebook and Threads. And I have a long lost TikTok that I have not touched in a while. And a YouTube channel. And starting in January, I'll be back with a series of interviews,
Ooh, exciting.
which I do with authors. We talk about subgenres in horror, and there's past seasons available there as well for people to check out.
I'll link to all that stuff. I'll put all the links in the show notes as long as I remember, which is usually the limiting factor is my memory. Well, oh, I should put links to all these things in the show notes so people can go find them. But I also, hopefully, all y'all listeners are internet savvy people who can just find those things using search engines. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. I had so much fun with our existential dread